Welcome to Vegan Styled Life.
I'm James Lucas from Grape. We sell high quality vegan and eco-friendly clothing and accessories at grapecat.com.
And I am Ellen Champion of Champion Relationship Coaching, and I'm a life and relationship coach who helps people with their relationships and to find the right partner instead of always ending up with the wrong one.
So this week was busy with the holidays and travel. I got to eat at some great restaurants. We were in DC and I ate at HipCityVeg and finally had the disco chicken that
I love that.
It was delicious.
That is my favorite sandwich.
So that was delicious. And I went to Manna. Now at Manna their menu is all meat. But the chef is so good that he made 3 vegan dishes for us, and they just asked what we liked, what we didn't like, and then he made 3 separate vegan meals, which is frustrating. I mean, I wish they had a vegan option on the menu, but it was one of the best meals I've had. So
that's not a vegan.
It's not restaurant. A vegan restaurant,
okay.
But if you go and you tell them you're vegan, they'll make you something.
Very nice. And you know, I've been told by a number of different chefs at non-vegan restaurants that they actually like that because it gives them an opportunity to be creative. They're not usually creative because they're just spitting out the same, dish all the time. So I think that was kind of cool.
Well, that's also the mark of a good restaurant when you can go in there and say, I'm vegan, and they come out with something creative because usually when you go to these restaurants, they're just like, okay, I'll take the chicken off of it, or they'll take the meat and the cheese off of it, and that's what you're stuck with.
Yes.
So it is nice to go to a restaurant and get a vegan meal.
Yeah. But that being said, and by the way, you were in the Hip City in Washington, D.C. That one. Because Hip City has 3 locations in Philadelphia and 1 in D.C., but he was in the one D.C. And Manna was Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. So the only thing is that, years ago, I've heard of vegans who didn't want to go to non-vegan restaurants because they didn't trust them. And I kept on feeling, well, I get that, but, you have to live in this world and, sometimes you just have to trust. But I have had actually a couple of experiences where I did trust and I realized I shouldn't have. Have you ever had experiences like that?
Well, it's tough because, even if they do have a vegan item, sometimes they're cooking it on the same grill that they just cook the non-vegan item.
Yes.
So there is the cross-contamination. So it is a personal choice. Like, are you going to let that slide? Are you going to be more hardcore about it and figure out if they do have 2 separate cooking spots for that? It's tough eating out, and that's sometimes you have to weigh what's more important.
Yeah, and that's a personal choice. We can't make that choice for you. I know that, and I'm going to name drop. I went to Chambers in Doylestown, and I was going there a lot. I got to know and I would go there when relatives, let's say, would come up and visit me out of state, and they're not vegan. So there I knew I could have, they could get what they want and I can get what I want. And Jason, who was spectacular, he was sending me, when I called him up the first time and I said, hi, this is the situation. And he said, great, just let me know, when do you think you'll be here? And he started creating dishes. He was so excited about doing this because he actually used to work in a vegetarian restaurant somewhere. And he was actually texting me photos of what he was going to serve me, which my goodness, it looked so beautiful and wonderful and tasty, and it was. Then there was this salad that's already on the menu, but he doctored it up a bit to, he put beets in there and just different things and made it vegan. And later on, I was going there for a while with this and loving everything that they did, but I found out that he was putting honey And again, I'm pretty hardcore. Okay, I'm vegan, and we're going to go into that. That's our topic. What does vegan mean? But it bothered me, even if I didn't care about the honey, which I do. At the beginning, when I became vegan, I didn't, but now I do. But even if I didn't care, the fact that he did not disclose that when he was saying everything was vegan, there's absolutely nothing in there. And I mean, I went over it with him and over it with him. And then later on, like months down the road, I found out that there was. He was putting, he kept on saying, no, but there's only a small amount. Well, that's not the point.
Yeah.
That is not the point. So, you have to, it's a personal choice, like you were saying, and you have to make that choice for you. I stopped going there because I need to trust, and he lost my trust. So that was that. The food was good, good service and all that. But I just that did it for me. So I just never went back. But yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring that up because of what you were talking about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So yesterday I was in New York City. I went to Blossom de Jour. There's a lot of they're very small. They serve fast food, and I had a tofu scramble burrito that was delicious. This was their spot near Columbus Circle, which is interesting because it's like a little mini mall of restaurants and stores in the subway station.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
it's funny. You walk down there and it looks like a normal subway station, and then you turn the corner and there's this beautiful aisle of restaurants and stores, and you're like, this is weird. And then when you get to the end, it's the ugly New York subway station again. So but it's a great spot. I mean, there's a Whole Foods upstairs, so if you want to go upstairs and eat something there. But yeah, definitely check out Blossom de Jour when you're in New York City. And
it's a beautiful restaurant.
Yeah, this is just there's nowhere to sit. It's just you walk in and the kitchen's right there. They hand you your food, and then they have tables and chairs outside for you to sit at in the middle of the mall there. Right,
but Blossom does have another location where it's a nice restaurant. So
yeah, and that's south. That's 9th and
I don't know.
It's in the 20s, I think, somewhere.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. And then for dessert, I went to Cinnamon Snail to get my donut fix and pastry fix. I didn't actually have lunch there, but they had a whoopie pie that was just amazing, and we had the lavender scone that was delicious. So, and then I had to get the Cinnamon Snail, which is their take on a cinnamon roll, which is one of the best I've had.
Oh wow! Okay, how big was it? Like
it's like this. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
It's like this big.
And how were the prices for all of these?
HipCityVeg is $9 for the disco chicken. It's a little bit more expensive than I remember Philly being, but I haven't been in the Philly one for a couple years, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the price of the separate vegan meal was at Manna because my parents paid. And
so it was cheap.
It was free, but you're not going to probably go with your parents. So.
Yeah, right.
And then Blossom was $9 for the...
Blossom de Jour.
Blossom de Jour was $9 for the tofu scramble burrito. And then Cinnamon Snail, it ranges from $2.50 for a chocolate covered donut up to $6.50 for the whoopie pie.
Right. Okay, cool.
So, but their sandwiches are a little bit more expensive. They're like $12 or $13 for a burger or one of their sandwiches.
And is there a side? Is it just the burger, or does it come with
fries
sides? Or some sort of side? And
I'm
maybe
trying to
that's
remember.
why. In which
No,
case.
I don't think it comes with the side. I think it's
Okay.
just the burger. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it is a
cool.
little bit more expensive than other places.
Yeah. Well, but it's in New York City.
It's in New York City. Yeah.
So it might not be expensive if you're in New York City.
No,
You know what
I
I
mean, yeah, I mean, you can. There's definitely cheaper places than
Okay.
Cinnamon Snail, but you know, it's convenient. It's right there at Madison Square Garden, which Terri's is down the street. It's a little bit cheaper. It's about $9 for a sandwich,
Right.
and I think there's another Blossom de Jour down the street on
Yeah.
23rd from Terri too.
I don't know Terri. That
Oh,
one
you've never been to Terri?
I've never been to
Oh,
Terri.
it's delicious.
Yeah,
It's
Terry.
Terri.
I.
Yeah, they have 2 locations.
Oh, all right. And it's a restaurant or a bakery? Or...
It's a restaurant, but they only have counter seating.
Okay.
And I think it's on 23rd in New York City.
Okay, great. Okay, terrific. I went to Luzerne, Pennsylvania to go to Nucleus. It is a vegan raw food restaurant, and it was fabulous. I did take a video, which he's going to get into this vlog. And I had a grasshopper juice. And I did forget to say what was in that juice in the video. So here it is. The grasshopper juice consists of cucumber, celery, ginger, lemon, kale, and apple. It was divine. I had a build-a-dish. They have different ways of building a dish. And again, the video will go into that. And I had what I called a walnut burger, but it's actually called a Nucleus burger. It is a walnut burger, though, with greens, tomatoes, onions, and the Nucleus sauce, which is a secret. And it is just a fabulous place. The owner is wonderful. The people there are wonderful. When they say goodbye to you, they say that they're grateful for you. And it's just this very earthy, loving kind of restaurant in this out of the way little place called Luzerne, Pennsylvania, near Scranton. And it was just wonderful. And again, 2 thumbs up is what I say to that restaurant. Yeah. And I hope you enjoy the video. Yeah. So as you can see, Nucleus in Luzerne, 1 room, looks like a living room. It's very comfortable and easygoing. Little TV over there. Okay, and if you go over here, there's a piano. It's very comfortable, very natural looking. And then over here is where the kitchen is and where you order the food. Very nice people. John. Dan. Dan. Why am I saying John? Dan, wave. That's Dan, the owner.
Is that it? Am I done?
Yeah, you're done. You can get back to work. So that's Dan, the owner. He was very, very sweet. And soon I'm going to be eating something, and I will continue my review. This is their walnut burger. I just cut it in half. I showed you the picture before. And I can't wait until I try it. Let's give this a shot. It's messy, which I love because it's fun. Wow. He said this is one of his best sellers, and I could understand why. This is really delicious. This is zucchini bread too. And remember, this is all raw. It's all raw food. So this is really amazing. And now I'm going to try this. This is a Build-A-Dish. And what I asked for was on a bed of lettuce. There was on a bed of, let me see what their menu says. There was on a living bread or nori seaweed, and I wanted it on lettuce. So it's on lettuce, and it's their cashew tuna with their Nucleus Thousand Island dressing made out of cashews. So here's a little bit of tuna. Let's give it a shot. It's gorgeous and it's so big. Oh, This is really, really good. I recommend this place. That everybody here that's just so nice, and when they say goodbye, they say we are grateful for you, which is really sweet. And it's just a very homey place. They have a piano, which I showed you before, and just great food and great people. So 2 thumbs up for Nucleus in Luzerne, Pennsylvania. Thanks. Hi, I just got my green smoothie here, actually juice. It's called Grasshopper, and it's not named after the grasshopper, actually. It's named after a bar that the owner used to go to. So anyway, here it is. Wow, this is so delicious. I wish you could try it. I'll be back when I get the food.
So now we got some vegan news to go
Yes.
through. PCRM is suing Southern California schools for serving processed meat. They're trying to get processed meat taken off of the menus at their schools. And they're doing this because, one, in 2015 there was a finding that processed meats cause, like bacon, sausage, and ham, are carcinogenic. And LA schools have a rule that now I lost my place. So PCRM saying they shouldn't be serving these unhealthy foods to school children. But then, of course, the meat industry came back and said they're perfectly fine. But what else are they supposed to say? I mean,
Right.
Cigarette companies said the same thing in the 40s and or the 50s and 60s when cigarettes were trying to be taken away.
Well, we all want to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some people do it no matter what the consequences are. So, yeah.
And then also, LA's going to be, once LA gets some of these vegan options in, other schools are going to have to follow suit. So LA schools are also planning to serve vegan options in the fall.
Yay, LA!
So that's a good sign. I mean, this is going out to 650,000 children that will have access to vegan options at their schools.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of kids. And then, I don't know, should we talk about banning the Big Mac? That's not really part of this kids eating school lunches, but
it is important. I mean, yeah, I would say, go ahead. Go for it.
yeah. So
I'll give
LA's
you
also
permission.
trying to ban the McDonald's being served at the schools and being used as fundraisers. Also, I mean, it's a lot of money they've raised. They've raised $2.5 million for the school, which personally, I don't think schools should have to raise money, but that's my own political problem.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story. But
That's
this
not
is
gonna
exciting
do
that
with being vegan.
yeah, but this is exciting that we could really change how food is seen in schools if LA passes both of these things.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I hope so. Hope it comes down to all the schools at one point. But let's do one step at a time. Okay, the news that I have to share is, we all know that China is not the best when it comes to animal rights. And there is a vegan skincare line. The entrepreneur is Phoebe Song, I guess. And she was trying to get into the Chinese market, but she found out that the Chinese government mandates animal testing for imported cosmetic skincare products. She now has, of course, she was very disappointed about this because, of course, China is a huge market, and as any business owner, they want to make money, they want to grow. So this is something that she really had to deal with. But of course, she's not going to do that. She is vegan. but I can go into all these different things, but what it comes down to is that there are companies that that say that they don't test on animals, that they say they are, have vegan options for their products. However, because they want to get into the Chinese market, they are not as they really say. So some of the major brands include L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Shiseido, which I never heard of. Have you? Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
they make shampoos and they make different makeup. Yeah,
And Procter and Gamble, which is, come on, Procter and Gamble is the worst when it comes to animal testing. So, in my opinion, so none of those firms among the top foreign cosmetics and skincare companies selling in China responded to a request for comment. So they are not commenting. I wonder why. Let me see. There are some things here that I wanted to say. Estee Lauder said that it, in quotes, it does not test on animals, and we never ask others to do so on our behalf. End of quotes. According to a statement on its website, if a regulatory body demands it for its safety or regulatory assessment, an exception can be made. So, the thing here is that something to really look out for is that, again, it's, as always, it's a personal choice for you. I choose to go for vegan companies. I'd rather not just get a vegan product from a non-vegan company. That being said, it doesn't mean I never have, because sometimes you don't have a choice. But if there's a choice, I'd rather go for a vegan company because I'm going to be able to trust that. These are people who just have vegan products because they want to make money, so it's not going to be important to them. I do want to say, though, a 2013 estimate by the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals found that China's mandatory regulations resulted in companies testing products on as many as 300,000 animals. And it's probably, higher now. According to the organization's senior vice president, who explained that an animal is killed for a test.
after a test.
After a test, I'm sorry. Which, I can't imagine what they go through. I just don't even want to think about this. Okay. While there are alternative ways of testing the safety of beauty products, for instance, by using 3D tissue models, experts said China currently lacks the know-how. I did want to say, let me see. There's so much to say here, but we don't have the time. Now, L'Oreal is one of the firms that is taking advantage of this and some of its products, such as shampoo and body wash, and they are no longer animal tested in China, according to its website. I don't really understand that, though.
It was right. It was in the paragraph before about there's some provinces problem. Some areas in the country don't require the animal testing on soaps and lotions.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to leave you with when it comes to this is I'm sorry, give me a second. Maybe that's it. Okay, that's good.
There are a lot of great small brands
Yes.
that don't test on animals. Those are, you're supporting a small vegan company, and that's probably more important than convenience and price.
Definitely more important.
Because you're really helping a company that's getting started, that's trying to do the right thing, and your money's just 100% of your money is going to them to either pay their bills, to promote the company, so all of that is more helpful than going to some of these bigger brands. But I definitely understand that there are some brands like Lush that goes out of their way to have vegan products, and there are some bigger companies that are strictly vegan. So
And the cosmetics that I get is called ELF, E-L-F. And at one point, I could only get them in Target. But now I see them in CVS. I've seen them in some grocery stores, and I can't think of who right now, I'm sorry. But they are moving around. Now, they are really inexpensive. And I mean really inexpensive. I mean, a mascara, which is quite a bit of money, could be $1 or $2. I mean, it's really very inexpensive. They do a good job. I don't have a problem with their mascara. I only get their mascara, eyeliner, concealer, and lipstick. And I'm loving every single one of them. So, that's great. And makeup remover. I get that too. So anyway, and now they have nail polish too, which I just got. So anyway, there are choices out there. You don't have to go to a company that is not vegan just to get a vegan product. So that's that. So our topic today is, what does living a vegan lifestyle mean? And I'm just so excited about this topic because that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was talking to my younger son who's turning 30 this weekend. Oh my God. Incredible. Yeah, he's my baby is 30. I keep on telling everybody I'm 24. It's the new math. Get used to it.
That's okay. I just turned 50, and my mom tells everyone that she's only 44. So I understand.
There you go. Okay. Well, I'm not even 44. I'm 59, almost 60. So here it goes. I spoke to my son about it. He goes, "Mom, it's very simple." And this is a quote from Jared Montel. "What I consider to be vegan is when you have a reasonable option, you choose the vegan option." It's so simple. So basically he was talking to me, and it's so true, I totally agree with him anyway, is that, and again, this comes down to your personal choice again, but what he means by a reasonable option is, if you wanted a certain product, we were talking about cosmetics. It could be cosmetics, hair dye, or whatever it is, and you're looking for a certain type of product, whether it be cleaning or otherwise, and there is you're so used to getting whatever brand you're getting, but it wasn't vegan. But there is another vegan, but there are vegan substitutes for that. That's what you would get, the vegan substitutes. You wouldn't continue with the non-vegan version of it. However, and this is, Jared's point of view, however, if you're dying and you need medication and the medication isn't vegan, well, let's, save your life. So I understand his point of view. I totally get that. The problem, though, in my eyes, is the word reasonable. So what is reasonable? I know it's a personal choice, but if you are truly a vegan, that reasonable word means something maybe differently than someone else. For instance, I live and breathe veganism. I live and breathe animal rights. And a couple of years ago, I went to the dentist and I was getting an implant done. And I can't believe I'm telling you this, but it was a very emotional situation for me, because what happened is they told me they wanted to put a graft, so like a bone, in my gums to make it stronger, to withhold the implant. And I said, well, wait a minute, it's bone? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, wait a minute, where is this bone coming from? Now, I could have said, no, that's reasonable, I want a nice mouth. But it wasn't reasonable to me, because I'm not going to put my vanity in front of someone else's pain and death. And I just can't do that. I can't do that. So I became hysterical and I started crying in the middle of my, and I mean, I wasn't tearing, I was sobbing. I kept on saying, oh my God, I'm going to look like a hillbilly.
So where did the bone come from?
So he did say that, yes, the bone does come from from animals. He says there are sometimes that it doesn't. He goes, let me just make sure about where this one comes from. I'll be right back. And thank goodness he did. He said that there was only one left that was of a human being. And again, you have to know who to trust and all that. But I really trust my dentist. He's a fabulous dentist. If anybody really wants a great dentist that you could trust, let me know. But
so did you find
so
out
really
where these
trust.
bones come from, or like?
He did explain things to me, but I honestly don't remember all that
Okay.
much because I was hysterical, thinking, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was going to put my hair back. I'm getting warm. I was thinking I was going to look like a hillbilly for the rest of my life, and I would. Believe me, I would. There was no way that animal was going to put their bone in me unless I saw a written consent
So the human
form
bone,
from the
the human bone was okay, but
Well, because the humans are saying, no, I want to be a donor.
okay.
To me, that's different. If an animal, if a cow said, hey, I want to be a donor, that's different. But they're not saying that. They are being taken by force, and that's not acceptable. It's just not acceptable.
Okay.
To me, if it's not acceptable to the human being, for the human being, it shouldn't be acceptable to them.
Yep.
That's my personal opinion. Do you have any?
Yeah, I
thing to
mean,
say,
for me, I was thinking about this, and for me, being vegan is doing the least amount of harm.
Yeah.
And I have a problem
Exactly.
with guns. I don't like violence.
Isn't
I
he
try-
wonderful? Isn't he wonderful, guys?
I try to, I protest against violence. I don't. It's
Yeah.
not acceptable in our society, especially a society that we shouldn't be fighting over anything. We're adults. We should be able to work it out. But I know that's not.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere, and by starting taking violence out of your diet makes you more compassionate towards people and other things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's for me where it comes from, and it's tough. It is, being vegan is tough when you take it to a level that we want to do the best we can, and it is hidden, and you have to do your research, and
Okay.
animal byproducts are they are products that these companies are trying to squeeze every nickel to get more money, so they are selling whatever is left over. If it's not for food, it's broken down and it's used for something else. Whatever's left over is made into hot dogs, or it's screened off and it's made in, whey, or
They use everything.
they use everything that they can to make a little bit more money. So it is hard to find these animal products in some things, and they even change the names to make it more acceptable, or they break
Yeah.
it down to the chemical name.
So you don't know.
So you don't know. You
Pull the wool
really,
over your eyes.
it's all,
I shouldn't say that anymore.
No, it's, I don't know what you,
I said
acrylic over your eyes.
pull the rayon over your eyes.
So yeah, it's, you're constantly having to keep up on these terms and the scientific terms,
Yeah.
just to you have to be aware. And since becoming vegan, the term ignorance is bliss, I totally understand. Like, when I was ignorant about all this stuff, my life was it wasn't better, but it was definitely easier, where I could just walk into a restaurant and eat and not have to.
And easier. Say, you use the word difficult. I don't find it difficult at all, except for I don't find living vegan difficult. I find living in a non-vegan world, being a vegan, difficult.
Yes,
Do you know
that's what I
mean?
meant.
Yeah. Okay. And what were you just saying? I'm sorry. You just said what makes it easier. I'm sorry. I can't think of what you just
Oh,
said.
well, I mean, ignorance is easier.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, in that movie with the red pill and the blue pill. Oh my goodness. I am not thinking, and it's one of I love this movie.
The Matrix.
The Matrix, thank you. I love that movie. But, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I always forget which color it is, but if you take a certain pill, the blue pill or the red one, you see the reality of your world. And and it's not a pretty sight. And you can't go back. You can never go back. Once you see it, you see it. You can't not see what you've already seen. And that's what it's like when you're vegan. So to be vegan, there's pescatarian, and there's ovo-lacto vegetarian, and there's vegetarian, which means that you don't have any, that you only have dairy, you don't have eggs, you don't have fish. And then there's vegan, okay? And it's amazing, but even with vegan, there are levels, or at least, I don't know if there are even levels. I don't think there are any levels. It's just that people see it differently,
there's definitely
speak about it differently.
Versions of vegan. Because, like, I see plant-based as you're just concerned about health eating.
It's really just about you. And when you're eating plant-based, but some people say instead of plant-based, I'm vegan, but you're not vegan.
Right. If you're still wearing leather, you're still
being vegan means that you are living a life where you do not want to cause harm to all animals. Mm-hmm. And you will do your very best not to. And that's really what veganism means. But if you're doing it just for health reasons, it's not vegan, it's eating a plant-based diet. Yeah. And some people do say I eat a vegan diet, which, okay, I can respect that versus I'm vegan.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you vegan. So what makes you vegan is that attitude. You don't want to do any harm. But to put it more in a more specific role, you don't eat any animal products or byproducts. You don't wear leather, fur, wool, silk, pearls. I mean, people don't even think about jewelry, but it includes pearls, mother of pearl, anything like that. It means having vegan cleaning products and personal care products, and just living your life, without wanting to do any harm. I mean, we do our very best in taking out the insects from our home instead of killing them. Of course, if you're infested, that's a little different. And there's the reasonable part again.
Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to. So I did a little homework because I can't remember everything. I don't know if you've noticed that about me, but I can. So casein is a protein derivative, right? All right, so casein is the protein found in all mammals' milk. All, even us, all mammals' milk. And it is found in all dairy products. And what I did not know is it's also found in some lunch meats. Did you know that? I did not know that.
Vegan lunch meats or just lunch meats? Just lunch meats?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I haven't had
Well, it can't be in vegan lunch meats because it's casein.
Well, I'm sorry, vegetarian lunch meats.
Okay. Okay. See, there you go. But it's also found, which again I did not know, in caramel, I forgot the L here, caramel coloring, brown sugar flavoring, Bavarian cream flavoring, coconut cream flavoring, and natural chocolate flavoring. So it's not just dairy, which I did not realize. So I learned something.
I've seen it in some of the vegetarian cheeses. Follow Your Heart has a cheese that it says dairy free on it, but casein is in the product. So it's kind of, you really do have to read the ingredients.
You really do.
Because Follow Your Heart does have vegan cheeses, but there's a couple that are not. There's an almond cheese that also has casein in it. It's so frustrating. There's no reason for it. They could use pea protein. They could use another plant-based protein. It's one of those silly things that, you think, especially when it says dairy-free, that there's actually dairy in it. It's just not dairy.
When it says dairy-free, that's a good one. I'm glad you brought that up. When it says dairy-free, it doesn't mean it's vegan. It means that people who are lactose intolerant can have it. That's really all it means. That's really all it means.
I've seen that in other things too. There's the little creamers you get that say dairy-free on them, but they do have casein.
Yeah, dairy-free does not mean vegan. Look closer. In fact, if it says dairy-free, you pretty much know, I think. Also, rennet, R-E-N-N-E-T. It's an all cheese. And what it is, it's from a calf. And it's extracted from inner membrane of the fourth stomach chamber. And it helps the cheese stay together and what is it, congeal, is that the right word?
Guess.
So it's in not that it's in all cheeses except for kosher cheese and vegan cheese, and the there are vegan substitutes, otherwise we couldn't have vegan cheese, right? So the vegan substitutes for rennet is fig juice, which I thought was cool, dried caper leaves, nettles, thistles, mallow, and ground ivy, which is also called creeping Charlie.
So cheese really isn't even vegetarian then, if it's got this stomach line.
That's what I wanted to bring up. What happened was I started off years ago as a pescatarian. Then I went to a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for like 2 weeks maybe, because once I realized that rennet was in it. I didn't even know when I became a vegetarian. I'm like, cheese is not even vegetarian. So saying that you're a vegetarian means that basically
you're not.
It means nothing. It means that you care. I shouldn't say it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. You're still eating meat. You're still eating meat without realizing it. And again, there goes pulling the cotton over your eyes. I'm not going to say well.
Because I don't think you'll see it as an ingredient in the cheese.
No, you don't. If it's cheese and it's not kosher or vegan, it has it in it.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it was some cheese.
Yeah. So once I realized that, I said, what am I doing? Why am I playing games? Let's just go vegan. So that's what I did. So anyway, so that's what rennet is. The other one is whey, W-H-E-Y. And that is a liquid remaining after milk has been curdled and strained. It is a byproduct of the manufacture of cheese and casein. So that's all I have on that.
And you have to you have to look out for whey too, because it sneaks into a lot of products that you would think don't have it. Breads. I just saw something with it, and it was weird. I don't know if it was a candy or some kind of bar or something. A lot of protein bars use it because it is a protein, so you have to just be careful. You really have, and it's only 4 letters, so it's easy to skip when you're looking for products. But sometimes it comes up in the allergen in the allergen list, that when you see allergens, milk and usually wheat or soy are in there. But if you see milk, sometimes it does show up as an allergen.
Yeah. So before I go into the next thing, I just wanted to say that there is a vegan app that you could get on your cell phone. I have a Droid. I know I had it. I don't even use it because I know what I get. But there is an app, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. But basically, you just scan it over the, what do you call those things?
Barcode.
The barcodes, and it'll tell you if a product is vegan. So you don't even have to think anymore. If you have that app, that would be a really great thing. Check it out on your.
The one I use is Animal Products.
Oh, okay. You have one.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
So I use that. The problem is
it's only for food, right?
Yes, I believe it's
only for food. So.
And some of the problems is there's animal glycerin and there is plant-based glycerin. The vegan products make sure to say plant-based, but your soaps.
Yeah, I have that right here.
You do have glycerin in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it's plant-based and sometimes it's not, and you never know which one they're using.
So just make sure. Now, also, when it's vegan, it should have a vegan logo on it. And there's 2 different kinds I've noticed. One is a little bunny hopping. Right? And what's the other one? I can't think.
It's actually the little V logo.
Right, the little V logo with a, in a circle. So that's what you look for. And there are products that say not tested on animals. That doesn't mean it's vegan. I mean, thank goodness, I'm glad that they're not testing on animals, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have any vegan, that they don't have any animal byproducts in it. So again, look for that logo. So you were talking about glycerin and other products, and here it goes again. There's so much out there that needs to be known. In personal care products, like you were saying, there's glycerin is found in animal and vegetable fat. So again, look for the label, look for the vegan label logo. Shampoos have panthenol, amino acids, and vitamin B, all animal, or can be at least animal products. Then there's also white and brown sugar, and they use bone char for the coloring. I didn't know brown sugar was that.
I didn't know that.
But that's what I read.
I thought they used the bone char to make it white.
White, yeah. So that's what I thought too. When I read, they said no, some brown sugars too. So look for, organic or vegan. So anyway, so that's what I read about that. But at the beginning, I was talking about, a reasonable decision. You have to take things as they come and make a reasonable choice. The difficult part about being vegan is knowing that you're not 100%, even if you feel like you're 100%. I mean, I am as 100% as I could possibly be, I think. And then I'll find something else out. And it's tough, and it unnerves me, and I do a lot of crying sometimes when I realize, oh my goodness, here I think I'm being so great. However, I find out this. So I'm just going to go over this, and it's not because I want to go over these things, and it's not because I want to drive you crazy or drive me crazy, but it's to make sure that we stay humble, because honestly, as good as we are, no one can be 100% and live in this society. It's just not going to happen. So, for instance, drywall, we have it in our houses, okay? It's gypsum plaster sheets, has stearic acid and oleic acid. And apparently, stearic acids, I know I have it here somewhere. Here. It's used, right. All right, I'm sorry, I don't know where it is. Sorry, it's here somewhere. It's a lot of things written down. But stearic acid, apparently, and oleic acid is not vegan. Okay, paint has casein in it. Here I'm thinking casein is only in food. It isn't, it's in paint. So, do your best to get vegan paint. It is out there. Asphalt has glycerin in it. So the roads that we drive on, our driveways, is not vegan. I recently, and I remember telling you a few months ago, I found out that ink in our pens, in our computers, whatever it is, ink has are tested on animals. So that is not vegan. Bic, 3M, and Scotch test on animals, so that is not a good thing. I also heard lighters and the bubble, that you mail things out, also not vegan. There are vegan pens though, and when I use up the million pens that I already have, I will definitely purchase vegan pens. Maybe you could start selling them. I was actually talking to David about that. Because he has a great store. You have to check it out, and maybe he could start selling them. But anyway, so the vegan pens, tape and glue, are Pilot and Duck. Those are the two companies that I know of. And Gorilla Glue and Elmer's are both vegan.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't know Elmer's was vegan.
It wasn't at one point, and then it turned vegan a while back. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing good. Is a lot of animal products have gotten expensive, so, and they're not as good as the products that are coming out.
Yeah.
So by making non-animal products cheaper and better, there's no reason to use those old products.
No reason. Not one. Okay, tires. Check with the manufacturer. If they use animal-based stearic acid, here it is. So stearic acid helps the rubber in tires hold shape under steady surface friction. Michelin and Kender they're vegan. They're the ones that are vegan. But they use stearic acid that's from tree oil, but most of them are not. They're animal products. Glue in woodwork and musical instruments. Now, my husband's a musician. He's vegan, but he's a musician, and so you don't realize it. But there's the animal glue they use animal glue that's made from boiling animal tissue and bone.
Yeah. And that could have changed too. I
guess so.
But it's also hard to find out. So if you buy an instrument trying to figure out, go back to the manufacturer and say, is this glue vegan?
Yeah.
They're not going to know.
Well,
they may know, but sometimes they don't know.
What I read, though, is that they can't use vegetable ones. Now, of course, I don't remember what year this was that I was reading it. But they were saying how the vegan glue just doesn't hold up to the abuse that these musical instruments take. So I don't know. But yes, that is a good point, and it maybe it's changed. So that's that. Biofuels use animal fats. Fireworks are not vegan. They use stearic acid, which is used to coat the metal powders such as aluminum and iron. Fabric softener. If you use fabric softener, Downy fabric softener contains, forgive me if I say this wrong, dihydrogenated tallow dimethyl ammonium chloride, which comes from cattle, sheep, and horse industry. So that's that. Also, when I was looking for a mattress a couple of years ago, mattresses, unless it's a vegan mattress, has wool in it.
Yeah.
That was one of those times that I started crying. I was so upset that I've been sleeping in wool all this time, and here I won't wear wool, but yet I'm sleeping in it. So, I get very emotional about this stuff. So, the thing here is that we do the best we can. We don't want to cause harm. We don't want to cause harm to each other. We don't want to cause harm to non-human animals and to the environment. And you just do the very, very best you can. And when there is a choice, choose vegan.
So you can just do the best you can. It really is. The world is set against you right now. It's changing. It's changing pretty quick. But it is still tough to find some things and find alternatives.
Yeah. So, if you're moving in the right direction, that's wonderful. If you're going slowly, that's fine, as long as you're moving in the right direction. But I do want to just say, yes, be kind to yourself. Yes, it is a personal choice. But as you're making these choices, please question yourself. Are you truly doing the best you can? Or are you just doing what you can at the moment? There is a big difference. Choose, just don't take yourself for granted and what you can and cannot do. Really question yourself and really educate yourself and do the very, very best you can do, not what you feel like doing. That's all I really wanted to say. Do you have anything else that you wanted to bring up?
Nope, it's just doing the best you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I would like to leave with a quote. The question is not, can they reason, nor can they talk, but rather, can they suffer? It's by Jeremy Bentham, an English philosopher, jurist and social reformer, and the founder of modern utilitarianism from 1748 to 1832. The question is not, can they reason, nor can they talk, but rather, can they suffer? It's a great quote.
Yep. So thank you. Please leave a review on iTunes and join our Facebook group, Vegan Styled Life. And thank you for listening.
And also, we are on YouTube, so please like us there.
Please
click
subscribe.
the thumbs up. Yes,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Please, please, please. Thank you so much. We are looking forward to sharing our time with you in a couple of more weeks for our fourth show.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right. What do you think?
Good.